Field lights, wings shine mean in the heat of the night. Push trucks rolling, engines cry, heartbeat hitting like a war drum sky. Fuel fumes burning, crowd starts to roar. You ain't here to live, you're here for war. Green flag snaps and you're loosing the wind, throwing dirt and chasing that wind. Throttle pinned, elbows out wide, hunting that cushion like it stole your pride. Slide job, send it deep in the corner and pray it sticks. Right rear throwing clay off the cushion's grip. Slide job, fans bang boards yelling, send it son, glory or wreck, there ain't no in between rides. Slide job, hold tight baby, this ain't no parade, this is dirt track thunder and we came to invade. Hot laps hitting like a freight train swing. G-forces bite when they ride rear digs. Slick in the middle, tacky up high, living on the edge of a half-second line. One mistake and you're kissing the wall. Heroes rise fast, legends fall. This ain't a game for the calm or tame. Fortune screams aloud for the ones who aim. Hammer down, lean hard on that wing. If you ain't risking it all, you ain't winning a thing. Slide job, send it deep in the corner and pray it sticks. Right rear throwing clay off the cushion's grip. Slide job, fans bang boards yelling, send it son, dirt in your teeth, but damn this life fun. Slide job, wide open hearts in a world built on grit. Ain't no better feeling than making her stick. White flag waving, hands ain't steady. Last lap, breathe deep, keep heavy. One more dive, no fear, no shame. Stand on it, son, claim your name. Slide job, checkers fly, crowd shakes the ground. Victory lane, you're the talk of this town. Slide job, from the mud to the lights, we were born to drive. A slide job's more than a move, it's how we survive.
We are live once again here on a Thursday night. Dirty Old Bastards 410 sprint action coming your way here from Husets Speedway. Qualifying just get ready to get underway. Got a few cars out on the racetrack right now. We see John Klimowicz Jr. out here in the 34. Take a quick look here. We've got just about a minute here to go in qualifying, so we'll take a look at our point standings coming into tonight. Last week, Kenny Hoffman took over the point lead over his Tanner Pettit Racing teammate Aiden Forrester. Aiden falls back to second. Spencer Putney, Tanner Pettit, Matthew Rogers, Jack Young, Trevor Royer, Dustin Sargent, Michael Sheridan, Andrew May. That rounds out your top 10 here in the point standings. Let's take a look here at qualifying as it's going underway. Right now, fast time of the night is Joseph Groom with an 11:08. Right behind him is Matthew Rogers with a 13. Take a look at Landon Graham. He gets his lap time at 11:23. Ryan Avila there going to come home in third. Ryan picked up the win Tuesday night in the 360 sprints, trying to back it up with a win here tonight in the 410. And Ryan is going to go to the top of the charts at 11:041. Knocks Groom down to second. Forrester now to second with 11:044. So Avila and Forrester tight at the top right there by only 0.03 of a second. Tanner Pettit's going to come home in fourth right there. 11:099. We got about 10 seconds left to go in qualifying. Got about 40 drivers checking. Aiden Stoll, first driver into the 10s at a 10:992. Aiden Stoll now to the top of the charts here. Fast time of the night here at Husets, the Dirty Old Bastards 410 Sprint Series, and Aiden We're going to finish off qualified, and Aiden is going to have fast time right there. Nobody else challenged him. The only driver to put it into the 10s. All right, we're going to get right to heat races. Get our starting lineup here for heat race number 1. 9 drivers, 4 drivers will make it straight to the A main. And we'll fill up the B and the C from there. So here's going to be our starting lineup here for heat race number 1. On the pole, we start heads up in the 410s, unlike the 360s where we invert the top 4. It's going to be Aiden Stull on the pole, Kenny Hoffman to the outside, our points leader, Landon Graham in 3rd, inside of row number 2. JP Schreider, JP had a really good run going Tuesday night, made a mistake, caught the outside wall, ended up not finishing. He's going to start in 4th. Isaac Bowman in the 5th starting spot, Grady Ehrman to his outside, starting 6th. Taylor Howell, Dakota Kuhn, and Parker Leak. That's going to round out our 9-car field here for heat race number 1. Thanks for joining us here tonight on a Thursday night. My name is Chris Murphy with DRSN. This was kind of a late throw together here. Somebody reached out to us earlier at Steinman Gallo Racing, asked us to come on here, sponsor the night of racing for the DOB. So thanks to SGR for reaching out. Thanks to Chris Roberts at DOB for having us here once again. There's nothing we love more than a little sprint car action here on iRacing. 410 sprints at Husets. This racetrack's been around for a long time, opened up in 1954. It's called Husets because it was originally built by Till Huset. The track has been around for a long time. First hosted the World of Outlaws in 1983. It's had a lot of improvements since then. It's been known how to run some of the biggest money races in all of sprint car racing here over the last few years. All right, it's going to be Aiden Stull bringing us to the line. He'll set the pace off of 4. Stull and Hoffman on the front row. Stull on the throttle. Green flag in the air for the first time here tonight at Husets. Stull's going to jump out in front. Hoffman's actually going to fall back to 4th. Graham with a great start is going to get the 2nd. Schreider up on the outside on the fence. He's on the outside of Hoffman. Hoffman's going to be stuck down on the bottom line. Does not look like he has a lot of traction off of 4, but he's got a good run into 1. Schreider is going to take that 3rd spot away off of turn number 2. We're side by side. 3-car battle for 2nd. Hoffman with a great run this time through the bottom of 3 and 4 is going to take 2nd away. He is now around Graham and Schreider. In the meantime, Stull is checking out. Our top 4 will make the show. Everybody else has to run the B or the C, so right now our final transfer car is the 5 of Schreider. He takes a look underneath. Graham coming off of turn number 4. 4 laps left to go as we come across the line. Aiden Stull still out in front. About 0.6 of a second. Now back to Kenny Hoffman. Hoffman's got Graham closing in on the back of him. Graham going to the outside. Hoffman on the bottom. Looks like our top 2 running the bottom of the racetrack. Graham drops down to the bottom. Schreider is still trying that outside line. He likes to run the top. We saw him 3rd Tuesday night. Stuck to the top of the racetrack. He's up there here again tonight in the 410. Parker Leak up for his spot. Starting to close in on Schreider. A lap and a half left to go as they head down the back straightaway. Stull's going to come across the line. White flag in the air. They got the lap car Dakota Kuhn right there in front of him. But it's 1 more lap to go for Stull, Hoffman, Graham, and Schreider. That's your 4 transfer cars right now. And it looks like they're pretty well set in as long as nobody makes a mistake off of turn number 4. It is going to be Aiden Stull, Kenny Hoffman, Graham, and Schreider. That is your top 4 in heat race number 1. We're going to get right into heat race number 2. If you haven't been here for one of our dirt racing shows before, it is fast and furious. There's no time in between anything. It just goes from one heat to the next. And we're going to get right into heat race number 2. We can see the cars getting on the grid already. Ryan Avila going to be on the pole to his outside. Matthew Rogers, Spencer Putney. Oh, we show you the grid for you instead of just saying it. There we go. So Ryan Avila on the pole. Matthew Rogers on the outside. Spencer Putney in the 17 is going to start in 3rd to his outside. Casey Simons. Shane Gallo, SGR Racing, going to start in 5th to his outside. Jack Young. John Klimowicz Jr. is going to start inside of row number 4, outside, starting in 8th to finish out our 8-car heat race here in heat race number 2. It's going to be Matt Hinkle. Ryan has been fast all season long in the 360s and the 410s. See if he can bring home another win tonight. He won Tuesday night, like we said earlier. They're going to come across the line here one more lap around, and we have both green flag racing here for heat race number 2. Ryan Avila, Matthew Rogers on the front row. Watch the 49. Where is he going to pick up the throttle? Green flag in the air in heat race number 2. Ryan Avila out in front. He dropped down to the bottom. He watched that first heat race. It looks like the bottom's the place to be. Rogers right there with him. Putney also at the bottom. Simon's trying to work the middle to the top of the racetrack. Going to catch the cushion off of 4 there, actually. Just knock, and you can see there's just not a lot of traction. He gets a good run off of 2, but off of 4, doesn't seem to be working quite as well on the top of the racetrack. As you'll see Putney get a little bit of a run here. No, as I say it this time, Simon's found a little something extra. He is making that outside work. He's now around Putney for 3rd. He's got his sights set on Rogers for the 2nd spot. Putney was up the racetrack, and Simons makes a big mistake. Gets into the outside wall. He's got Jack Young now right behind him and Hinkle. They're battling up for 5th and 6th. They're trying to get up into that transfer spot. They're 1 or 2 spots out right now. Avila looks comfortable out in front. Rogers right there, about 6 or 7 car lengths back, about a half a second now. Then it's Putney in 3rd. Simons has got it straight back out. He's now back up, hanging on to that 4th spot. Jack Young trying to reel him in. He wants to get that last transfer spot. Keep an eye on our transfer position. Simon's got a little separation. Now they're single filed out here. Young still in 5th, Hinkle in 6th. Up front, it is all Ryan Avila. Rogers has closed in. He's close about 1/10 of a second out. We got 1 lap to go. White flag in the air. Rogers has got about half a lap to go. If he's got anything for Ryan, can he find a way around? They drop down to the bottom of the racetrack. Rogers gets a good entry to 3. They're going to come off of 4. And it's going to be Ryan Avila with a win. Matthew Rogers, Spencer Putney, Casey Simons. That is your top 4 going to the show. And actually, what we forgot to mention here is number 1, the top 2 go to the dash. We'll run a dash in the middle of the warm-up session. So Avila and Rogers both going to the dash. We're going to get lined up here for heat race number 3. About 5 heat races. Top 4 out of each heat will go to the feature. As we're getting lined up here for heat race number 3, we'll bring up your starting grid on the pole. 2nd place in points, Aiden Forrester. To his outside, Mason Hannigan. Mason's had some not so good luck in the last few races. Had trouble on Tuesday night. Let's see if he can have a better run tonight. He starts outside of row number 1 here for the heat race number 3. Jay Schaaf in 3rd. Trevor Royer's going to start outside of row number 2. We get back to row number 3 on the inside. It's Joseph Grandy and JP Smith. We get back to row number 4. On the inside is Dustin Sargent. And to his outside, Ross Corntop. 8 cars, 8 laps, top 4 to the feature. Forrester and Hannigan, 2 of the best out there in dirt racing sprint cars in all of iRacing. Let's see how they can do here and see how they match up here in heat race number 3. We're going to go around one more time. Lights are out on the pace truck. It's TPR versus Black Diamond Motorsports. Racetrack pulls down into the infield in between 3 and 4. Going to come across the line. It's up to Forrester. Where's he want to pick up a throttle at? Forrester gets a jump. Got 2 car lengths to Hannigan. Hannigan right there with him. Down on the bottom. Here comes his teammate Jay Schaaf. Hannigan and Schaaf side by side. Hannigan's going to go to the bottom. Forrester at the top of the racetrack. think Forster saw that top working a little bit there in that last heat race. He's going to jump up there and give it a try. Forster, Hannigan, Schaaf, and Royer. That's your top four, but here comes Sargent down to the bottom of the racetrack. He's putting a challenge for that final transfer spot on Royer. We got a good battle going on here for fourth and fifth. Here comes the 73 of JP Smith trying to get around Sargent. Royer's actually reeled in the back of Schaaf there for third, so we got a battle here for shaping up for third and fourth with Schaaf and Royer. Forrester's about 0.8 of a second out in front of Hannigan. He's found that outside line to his liking, and he is running away with it right now. Hannigan's going to kind of one of those slider line in the middle, comes up and catches that wall just a little bit off of 4. Loses a little bit momentum. It's still about 0.8 of a second between first and second. Schaaf into the wall. Royer has to take evasive action. Looks down to the bottom. Royer now is going to take down to the bottom of the racetrack, slides up off of 4. He is going to take that third spot away from Schaaf. This is our top 4, and there's quite a ways back to Corental, who's in 5th. So this looks like our transfer cars right now. As long as nobody makes a mistake at the line, white flag in the air one more time around for Aiden Forrester. Forrester off at turn number 4. He is going to take the win here in heat race number 3. Hannigan, Royer, and Schaaf. That's your top 4 transfer cars. Russ Corental, Dustin Sargent, JP Smith, and Joseph Grandy did not take the green flag in this heat, so he is going to take the 8th position. We'll go right on to heat race number 4. I don't want to jinx it, but caution free so far. We saw it Tuesday night with the 360s at Kern County on Tuesday night. I had to think about where we were for a second. That's what happens when you get old, but we ran through the first 4 heat races out of caution, then we just kind of had a plethora after that. So we get our lineup going here for heat race number 4 on the pole. Joseph Groom starting in second. Rylan Gray, watch for Rylan. See if he can find that same outside line that Forrester found right there at the start of heat race number 3. Gavin Chadham's going to start in third. Outside of row number 2 and fourth, it's going to be Anthony Woodhull. In the 5th starting spot inside of row number 3, it's Richie Gaines the third. Cullen Hutchison going to start to his outside in 6th. We get back to row number 4. Starting 7th, it's going to be Tony Dominguez and Blake Carrick. Dirt Racer, appreciate you up there in the chat. Thanks for joining us. If you haven't been here before, give us a subscribe, hit the like button. Appreciate you being here. 8 more laps, 4 more cars going to make their way into the show. Winners for all 3 races so far came from the front row. Let's see if this can get changed up here. The bottom was pretty dominant early. The top looks like it's coming in now right towards the end of heat race number 2 and heat race number 3. So let's see what they find out here. Track is ever changing here at Husets. All right, Joseph Groom, Rylan Gray. That is our front row here for heat race number 4. We're gonna make 1 more lap around under caution. That's a pretty slow pace lap. Even the pace truck is driven off here. So Groom looks like he's really slowed down the pace here. Jump in the car with him. Is he even on the throttle at this point? I'm not even sure. All right, pace truck is pulled in as our leaders are still coming off of turn number 2. All right, it's up to Groom. Where's he going to pick up a throttle? Gonna be a little bit late off of 4 there. The 11 of Groom is going to take the lead into 1. You got Gray right up on the outside. Gray up on the cushion. Groom down to the bottom. Looks like Groom's going to clear him. Gray's going to look to the bottom of the racetrack. He is going to try to slide up off of 4. Can't quite clear him. Clear Groom with the lead into 1 and 2. Looks like we got Carrick on the outside wall. Blake Carrick in the 21 is going to fall back here. Back to 6 right now. He's going to make up a couple more spots if he wants to get into the show. And Groom's going to go around. Groom is going to go around, catches the outside wall. I don't know if there was contact there. But Joseph Groom, our pole sitter, goes around here on lap number 2. Let's see if we can go back and take a quick look at it. So you can see the 83 down on the bottom of the racetrack and just going to make a little contact, slides up into Groom. That is going to put Groom into the outside wall. Just about goes over. Little Tommy tip over there for him. Stays on all four. You can see the 18 of Dominguez getting involved back here. Gaines is going to come in and get involved as well. So it looks like he is going to spend some time in the pits trying to get some repairs done. So we're going to get back to our green flag. So it looks like... So it's Gray, Hutchison, Chatham, Garrett Dominguez, and Groom. Woodhull looks to be out of this race. So it looks like they may be sending Hutchison to the back. That's exactly as race control is going to decide that Hutchison was at fault. He is going to go to the back, or did he get parked? Because I see him now in the pits. So an EOL to Hutchison, he is going to take it down in the pits, so we can see Richie Gaines making his way back out. So good luck there for Carrick. Carrick made a mistake falling back, but a couple cars falling out here in the front with Groom getting involved with Hutchison right there. Hutchison getting sent to the back of the pack here. That's going to let Carrick get back up into third. We're going to come off of turn number 4. It's going to be Gray with the lead this time by. Gray, Chatham, and Carrick. Good start for Ryland. Gray going to carry the lead down through into 3 and 4. 3 laps down, 5 to go. Carrick there in third, Chatham second. Dominguez has now worked his way up into the final transfer spot in fourth, but here comes Groom back on the outside in the 11. He's side by side with Gaines. This is for 5th and 6th. Take a look back up front. They're pretty much single file. Top 3. We're going to keep an eye on this battle for the final transfer, because right now it's Dominguez, but he has Gaines and Groom coming in a hurry. Is there enough time for Richie Gaines to get himself into the final transfer spot? Can Groom find something up there on the cushion? Gray's now about a second out in front. Carrick is now going to get around Chatham for second. 2 laps left to go. We come across the line. White flag in the air. One more time around for Ryland Gray. Blake Carrick, Gavin Chatham, and Dominguez. Here comes Gaines on the top of the racetrack. We'll keep an eye on this battle for transfer. Can Gaines find anything off of 4? There's your winner right there, Ryland Gray. Final transfer spot is going to go to the 18 of Tony Dominguez. Gaines is going to fall a spot short in 5th. And we are going to move right on to heat race number 5. So maybe I jinxed the no caution at that point. We won't do that again. So we had no cautions up until that incident there with Hutchison and Groom. And we're going to get right into heat race number 5. So on the pole, 8-car heat race, 4 more cars will make their way to the show. Tanner Pettit and Miles Jansen Jr. on the front row. Bryce Lucius and Alex Rusninski in row number 2. Get back to row number 5. It's Dustin Steinman and Zach Hollinger. Jesse Bandy and Chris Sabske are going to occupy row number 4. And I don't think I see Steinman making his way out onto the racetrack. It looks like he may miss the start here in heat race number 5. So more action coming your way here on DRSN. Actually, right now, also going on live, we've got the Nitro Zone Racing Truck Series happening over on the other channel here on DRSN. My buddy Liam Irving covering all that race action over there. Tomorrow night we'll be here for the Half Decent Racing League Xfinity Series. And then Saturday night we'll be back for the JWR E-Racing Saturday Night Fever Next Gen Cups at Daytona. That's a money race if you're into money racing. If you want to catch that one, they put on a really good show last week at Talladega. We're back for Daytona this Saturday. So we're going to go green flag. Tanner Pettit going to carry Tanner Pettit on the pole. It's up to him where he picks up the throttle. Pettit on the loud pedal. Going to carry about a 4-car length lead into turn number 1. Up into second, Lucius on the bottom of the racetrack. But here comes Jansen on the outside. They're going to make some contact into 3. That's going to allow Szczerzinski to look at the bottom of the racetrack. We're 3 wide here for second at the moment. Lucius is going to clear this battle. It's going to be Jansen and Szczerzinski now for 4th. Right behind them, Jesse Bandy. In the meantime, Pettit is checking out. So it's Pettit, Lucius, Jansen, and Szerzynski. That's your top 4 on the racetrack. That's your top 4 transfer spot. Bandy, 1 spot out. A little more contact there between Jansen and Szerzynski. Szerzynski slides the bottom. He wants that 3rd spot away. Here comes Jansen back to the bottom. They're side by side coming off of 2. A tight race here, and it's going to be Szerzynski catching the outside wall in the 23. That lets Bandy get by into 4th for the transfer spot. Bandy drops down to the bottom to block off that slider from Szerzynski. Cross the line. Tanner Pettit still out in front. 5 laps down, 3 left to go here in our last heat race of the night. Jansen pretty solidly in 3rd. Our battle right here is for 4th with Bandy and Szerzynski. Szerzynski's going to get his way back into 4th spot. Bandy on the bottom. This is for 4th and a final transfer spot. We'll take a look back up front. Here comes Pettit off of 4. Going to take the white flag. 1 more lap to go here in heat race number 5. It's Pettit, Lucius, Jansen, Szerzynski, Bandy. Bandy still trying to get around the 23. Get himself into the feature. Doesn't want to run the B main if he doesn't have to, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. It's going to be Pettit bringing home the win. Lucius 2nd. Jansen across the line for 3rd. Szerzynski, Bandy, and Holliger going to round out our top 6. And then Chris Sabske going to come home in 7th. Dustin Steinman did not take the green flag. All right, so we're going to get right into our main event. C main coming up. So we will run a C, B, and an A main. And in between the B and the A, we'll have a little warm-up session. And what they're going to do is they're going to run a dash in that one to determine the top 10 starting spots. So the top 2 out of each heat made their way into that dash. All right, get our lineup here for the C main. Top 4 will go to the B. 10 laps here. On the pole, it's going to be Grady Ehrman. I'm not going to look at the grandstands. Let's look at the lineup. There we go. Outside, starting in 2nd, John Klimowicz Jr. J.P. Smith in 3rd. Cullen Hutchison going to start in 4th. In the 5th starting spot is going to be Chris Sabske and Tyler Howe occupying row number 3. Go back to row number 4. The 21 of Shane Gallo is going to start in 7th. To his outside, Joseph Grandy. Joseph didn't even run the heat race early, and I don't see him lined up here for the C either, so Grandy may be out of this. Woodhull in 9th, Dustin Steinman in 10th, and Dakota Kuhn is going to round out our 11-car field for the C. 4 drivers trying to move on. All right, Ehrman on the pole, Klimowicz to his outside. All right, 1 more lap around. We will go green here for our first preliminary main event of the night. All right, this is round 6 of 9. Only 3 races left to go after this. Next weekend will be in Limaland Park. We get to some short track racing for a couple weeks. Limaland and Cedar Lake, and they'll end off the season on May 14th at Charlotte. But right now, we've got C main to finish up here at Husets. It's Ehrman on the pole, setting the pace off of turn number 4. Grady Ehrman on the loud pedal one more time. A big, huge jump into 1. Over half a second. Ehrman's going to take the lead into turn number 1. Klimowicz Jr. settles into 2nd. We're side by side for 3rd with Hutchison and Smith. Right behind them, it's Taylor Howe, Anthony Woodhull, and Sabske battling it out for 6th, 7th, and 8th. Keep an eye on the final transfer spot right now. It's J.P. Smith in the 73. Ehrman has got away from our 2nd and 3rd place runner. Klimowicz has got Hutchison all over him. Hutchison at the bottom. Klimowicz to the outside. We're side by side for 2nd and 3rd. Smith's back there in 4th. Anthony Woodhull trying to reel him in. He wants to get into the B main. The 09 looks like he's got some speed. Can he find a way around the 73 of J.P. Smith? Right now, it is still Klimowicz and Hutchison fighting it out for 2nd and 3rd. Woodhull. Taylor Howe is going to move up to 5th. It looks like we got our first caution. In fact, it looks like it's going to involve the 73 of Smith. We see him turned around on the back chute. Nose wing gone. We'll see if we can go back and see what happened real quick to J.P. Smith, our first caution here in the C main. So they head into 1 and 2 right here. Smith in the middle of the racetrack. He's going to get a little loose. Here comes Woodhull on the bottom. And it looks like Woodhull just can't hold the bottom of the racetrack, is going to slide up. They're going to make contact. The 73 is going to go around. So Smith had a transfer spot. Now he's at the tail of the field. We're going to see how race control sees that. It looks like right now Smith is going to go back to 9th. It looks like the nose wing's still off the 73. Did not pull in to do any repairs. And that could just be a visual thing for us too. So, all right, so it looks like Woodhull is going to hold on to 4th right there. No, EOL for Anthony Woodhull. Race control is going to put the 09 at fault for that incident. Going to put him to the back. Smith also going to be in the back, so Anthony Woodhull has to go to the back of the longest line. So we got 4 laps down, 6 laps left to go. 4 drivers trying to make it to the B. So far, it's been all Grady Ehrman here in the C main. Started on the pole. All right, one more time, single file restart here. Gonna roll up turn number 4, Grady Ehrman. Setting the pace, green flag in the air one more time here in the C main. And as we see so often, the leader gets a huge jump, and here comes Hutchison and Klimowitz now for 2nd. Hal right there is up into 4th. He's got the transfer spot. He wants more. He is going to get underneath. It looks like Klimowitz is going to get together with Hal. Klimowitz is going to end up upside down in the 34. He is going to have to jump to the pits here. Let's see what happened to Klimowitz. It looked like there might have been a little contact between him and Hal. They come down the front straightaway. Klimowitz is all the way up on the outside of the racetrack. Has about only a few feet to the wall. Hal's going to slide up to make contact. That's going to put Klimowitz into the fence. Up into the Ken's fence. He's going to ride the wall. Never does go completely over. I guess he's going to lay over on his side right here. So Klimowitz now going to go to the back. I saw an EOL for Gallo. Save skate with an EOL too, so I'm not sure what that's about. We'll see the 21 trying to make his way into the pits here because I'm in slow motion, that's why. Alright, so Ehrman out in front. It looks like Gallo, Klimowitz all in the pits right now. Hal is going to hold on to that 3rd position. It looks like race control is going to call that a racing incident. Taylor Hal is going to hold on to 3rd. Steinman, SGR racing number 17, has now made his way up into 4th. He's got the final transfer spot. No nose wing right there for JP Smith. Let's see if the 73 can do anything here. 6 laps down, 4 to go. Ignore that white flag up there. All right, Ehrman, Hutchison, Hal. That is your top 3. Steinman hold on to the final transfer spot in 4th. Ehrman, once again, is going to bring us back to the green flag off of turn number 4, the 43. The Grady Ehrman back on the throttle. Green flag in here. Hutchison does a better job of holding on this time. Doesn't fall quite as far back. Hal and Steinman. Now that's your top 4. Woodhull back up to 5th. Anthony Woodhull's been quick, but he's only got 2 laps left to go to get that final transfer spot. Ehrman, Hutchison, Hal, and Steinman. We'll keep an eye on 4th right now. Steinman in 4th, Woodhull in 5th. White flag in the air one more time around. It looks like that's going to be our 4 transfer cars unless somebody makes a mistake. Grady Ehrman's going to come off at turn number 4. Going to take the win here in the C main. Hutchison 2nd, Hal 3rd, Steinman 4th, Woodhull in 5th. Sage Skate is going to come home in 6th. JP Smith with no nose wing is going to come home and round out our field here in 7th. We had Klimowitz Jr., Gallo did not finish the race, and Kuhn and Grandy did not start. All right, B main getting lined up. We got 14 cars for 12 laps. 4 cars will make their way into the feature. So starting lineup here for the B main on the pole. Parker Leak to his outside, starting 2nd. Jack Young back to row number 2. It's Russ Corental and Richie Gaines the 3rd. Jesse Bandy's going to start in 5th with Isaac Bowman to his outside. Get back to row number 7. It is the 52 of Matt Hinkle. with Dustin. Big Money Sargent going to start in 8th, back to the 9th starting spot inside of row number 5. Joseph Groom and Zach Hollinger. Grady Ehrman, then we get to our C-main cars. Grady Ehrman in 11th. Cullen Hutchison is going to start to his outside in 12th. Taylor Howell and Dustin Steinman are going to fill row number 7. All right, 12 laps. 14 cars, only 4 spots left to go in the A-main tonight. All right, it's up to Parker Leak to bring us up to speed off of turn number 4. We're going to go around one more time. They're going to roll off turn number 4. One more lap around here before we get our B main started. All right, let's see if any of those guys come from the back of the C can make their way up through here. We haven't seen anybody run through the C, the B to the A in a couple of nights. We'll see if anybody can do it here tonight. All right, Pacer's going to pull in here as we enter turn number 3 up onto the inside of the racetrack. Parker Leak on the pole is going to set the Pacer off of 4. Green flag in the air for the B main. Parker Leaks gets a good jump, got a good about half a second lead already, back to 2nd. That is Corental Young. And gains the 3rd. That's your top 4 right now. Bandy sitting there in the 5th spot. Looks like the bottom of the racetrack is the place to be right now for the B main. Looks like everybody down there on the bottom. Middle of the racetrack, you can see that the track is kind of narrowed out a little bit through 3 and 4. A little bit of a slider line there for Leak through 1 and 2. And then running what is the cushion at this moment, which isn't up too high on the racetrack, about halfway up. So Leak and Corental reeling him in. Here's our battle for the final transfer spot. Jack Young in 4th, now Bandy in 5th. Sargent back in the 6th spot. We're about to have a 3-car battle for the final transfer for that 4th position. Young actually gets a little separation. He's trying to reel in gains for 3rd. Right now up front is still all Parker Leak. Ross Corental is actually reeling him in just a little bit here. He's got a good run off of 4. Does he have anything for our leader? Looks like they're coming up on the lap car. Hollinger right there in front of him. We're 6 laps down, 6 to go. Gaines still in 3rd, Young in 4th. Sargent's trying to get around Bandy. He's going to look to the outside. Bandy makes a mistake down the front straightaway. That's going to let Sargent take that spot away off of 2. Sargent now up to 5th. He's 1 spot out. He's trying to reel in the 10 car of Young. Up front, we got a little bit of traffic right here. Hollinger to the outside. Leak going to get by him on the bottom of the racetrack across the line. 3 left to go now. Here comes Corental. Corental challenging for the lead. Another lap car into the outside wall. But right now, it is Russ Corental is going to take the lead away from Parker Leak. Gaines right there with him in the 3rd spot. Corental able to get around Leak in traffic. White flag, 1 more lap to go. The last transfer spot still Jack Young. Sargent right there, but just doesn't have enough for him. 3-car battle for the win here. It looks like it's going to be Leak. Gaines in 2nd. It looks like Corental with a mistake off of 3 and 4. We got to go back to see if I can see what happened to that real quick before it doesn't let us look anymore. So we come through 1 and 2. Let's see what happens to Corental. He comes off of 2. I think he ran out of fuel. It looks like he didn't put enough fuel in the car and ran out of fuel off of turn number 2. Ross Corental runs out of fuel leading the B main. That is going to put him out for the evening. Unfortunate. All right, so we've got our warm-up session getting going. We're going to run a 10-car dash, but before we get going on that, something we need to mention here that happened this week, or actually happened this morning. So one of the greats of all-time dirt track racer. Now, I know we're watching a sprint car race right now, but one of the best late model drivers to ever sit behind a dirt late model, Larry Moore, passed away this morning at the age of 83. I had the chance to watch Larry race back in the late 70s and early 80s, and he was one of the best ever. So rest in peace, sir, Larry. Sad to see you go, buddy. But we lose another good one here. All right, we're going to get a little warmth going on here. We're going to take and step away here for just a second as they're getting ready to do the dash here in the warm-up session. We're going to have a little quick word from AI Chief, the virtual crew chief that calls strategy, manages fuel, and isn't afraid to call you out when you do something stupid. Stop guessing, start winning. AIChiefRacing.com.
Now, driver, while the field gets sorted out and someone out there is still trying to find reverse, let me ask you a question. Have you ever been in the middle of a race and thought, man, I really wish someone in my headset would tell me what the hell is going on? Maybe you're running out of fuel. Maybe the leader is about to lap you. Maybe you just wrecked half the field and you're pretending it wasn't your fault. Well, driver, that's where I come in. AI Chief, your personal crew chief, race strategist, motivator, and occasionally the only voice of reason between you and the outside wall. With AI Chief, you get live race strategy, fuel and pit calls, real-time race updates, savage coaching when you start doing something dumb, and trust me, based on what I've seen out there tonight, some of you really need the help. AI Chief doesn't just tell you when to pit, he tells you when to save fuel, when to push, and when to maybe, just maybe, stop trying to go 3 wide into turn 1. So if you're tired of racing blind, and you'd like a crew chief that actually knows what he's doing, head over to AIChiefRacing.com and let Chief get you sorted out. Because the only thing worse than wrecking is wrecking without knowing why. AI Chief, I've got your back. Now let's get back to the action.
All right, we're back to live time. We can see our drivers making their way out on the racetrack. You see Kenny Hoffman there outside Mason Hannigan. About to do most of these off of memory. Aiden Stoll there in the 33. Brian Avila to his outside. Matthew Rogers, Aiden Forrester. You see Blake Carrick making his way out of the racetrack. We're going to see how they're going to line up. The timing and scoring will not be accurate during this dash since they kind of run this during the warm-up session, so it doesn't really keep a good accurate tally of who's out in front and who isn't. So it looks like it's going to be Hoffman and Carrick on the front row. Forrester right there behind him. I see Lucius making his way to the outside. Looks like Lucius is going to settle outside of run number 3. This is going to be the outside of Forrester as he Pettit down on the bottom of the 4th row. So it looks like our dash is going to be Hoffman, Carrick, Forrester, Gray, Avila, and then it looks like Lucius to his outside. I see Pettit and Matthew Rogers. Get back a little further. It looks like the one of Hannigan and Aiden Stoll to the outside. And I'm going off of memory of the car paint job, so if I mess anybody up, because like I said, the timing and scoring is not going to do us any good during this race. All right, so Hoffman on the pole. We're going to go green. I believe it is 8 laps. Hoffman brings us to the line. We're green flag in the air here in the dash. Forrester to the bottom. Carrick, all TPR racing drivers up front. Pettit right there as well. Here comes Avila down there in the 49. Gray up on the outside, but up front right now, it is Forrester down to the bottom. Hoffman on the outside. Carrick right there. So top 3. You could throw a blanket over Forrester, trying to get something off the bottom. It looks like that outside line off of 4 is the place to be. Hoffman with a big run. Forrester back to the bottom in 1 and 2. So it looks like both ends of the racetrack are a little bit different now. The top working better off the corners. Forrester getting a good run on the bottom. Keep an eye on this battle now. Forrester going to clear Hoffman off of 2. Hoffman back to the top. And it looks like Avila and Carrick going to get together. Carrick going to get sideways. He's going to save it there. But Avila's now going to go to 3rd. Pettit now to 4th. Pettit's going to catch the outside wall. A little graphic glitch there with the wing flying off of it. Hannigan now up to the 5th spot with Gray to his outside. So it looks like that bottom is really coming in here. We take a look at 3rd and 4th. Aiden Forrester. It looks like Pettit now. It looks like that's going to be the end of it. So it looks like it's going to be Forrester, Hoffman, Pettit. That's your top 3. Ryan Avila there is going to come home in 4th. And then we don't really have anything else from that. So that's going to be the dash. We'll see how that lines up the main. So So it makes our lineup a little sketchy too. When they start getting lined up, they'll get out on the racetrack. We're going to have a few more minutes here of practice. So again, really appreciate you spending your evening with us here at DRSN. My name is Chris Murphy. Over on also live on the channel right now. If you like some good truck racing, we've got the Nitro Zone Racing League going on in live time over there. Let's see where they're at right now. My good buddy Liam Urbic covering all the action over there for the Truck Series at Lime Rock. So once this is over with, jump over and check out that end of that truck race. It looks like a good show they got going on over there. I should find a way to bring it in here with you live, but tomorrow night we'll be here for the Half Decent Racing League Xfinity Series, and then Saturday night the JWR Esports Money Racing League from Daytona, and then next week we're back on Tuesday night for the 360 Sprints Dirty Old Bastards. Race number 7 of that series, and then where are we at again next week? And then Thursday night we're right back, hopefully here again for the 410 sprints. All right, so it looks like our A main is going to get underway. They'll do a little bit of a manual lineup here to start this off, so our lineup grid doesn't work quite as well. So they like to mess with me here. So iRacing doesn't really give you the opportunity to set your own. Set your own lineup, so they kind of have to manually do it, so they'll run an extra pace lap around to get that settled in. Alright, so lineup getting underway here. Where is our grid? Alright, we'll bring it up, but we'll have to kind of manually do the top, see if we can manually do the first 4 rows. I have my YouTube channel all messed up, so we're going to get this going here. On the pole, I believe it's going to be Aiden Forrester, so we're going to jump back here to, we're going to give you from the back to the front, makes it a little bit easier once they get settled in. So starting in 24th, it's going to be Dustin Sargent and Jack Young. Up to the 11th row, starting in the 22nd spot, it's going to be Richie Gaines and Parker Leake. Up to row number 9, it's going to be Alex Rudzinski and Tony Dominguez. Starting in the 18th spot is going to be Jay Schaaf and Casey Simons. Starting in 16th, JP Schreider and Miles Jansen inside of row number 8. Up to the 7th row, starting in 14th, Gavin Chatham and Trevor Royer. Spencer Putney and Landon Graham, that is going to occupy row number 6. So we're going to get row number 5 lined up here for us. We're going to have to do that manually here. Just kind of look where they are on the racetrack. And it looks like it's going to be Aiden Forrester on the pole. It is outside the one of Kenny Hoffman and Tanner Pettit, Ryan Avila, Mason Hannigan, and that looks like the 33 of Stoll to his outside, Rylan Gray and Bryce Lucius. And then and then row number 5 is going to be Blake Carrick and Matthew Rogers. All right, one more time around, we'll be green flag in the air. The green flag is not in the air, ignore that graphic. We're gonna go around one more time. That's kind of the manual start lineup for the dash. It does this to us. We're going to go around one more time. We're going to be green flag in the air. Aiden Forrester on the pole, Kenny Hoffman, Tanner Pettit, Ryan Avila, and it's going to be Forrester with a big jump out in front. Hoffman to the top, Pettit to the bottom of the racetrack. Avila now in 4th, Hannigan right there. Aiden Stoll. So we've got Forrester checking out right now. He's yet to pick up a win in the 360s or the 410s this season in the Dirty Old Bastard. This could be his first victory of the season. Hoffman settles into 2nd. Looks like we got a couple grooves right there out on the racetrack right now. Hoffman working the top of 3 and 4, dive down to the bottom of 1 and 2. Gonna slide up off the top of 2. Pettit to the third on the bottom. Ryan Avila now up on the outside. He's going to give a challenge to Pettit. It looks like Ryan's finding a little groove there on the outside. He's finding a little moisture off the top. We got caution in the air for the first time tonight. And it looks like it's going to involve quite a few cars. I see Young involved, Sargent involved. That Ryan Gray has already jumped to the pits. See if we can see what happened right here as yellow flag flies for the first time in our A main. I see Gaines right there in the middle of the racetrack. It looks like it's going to happen up in front of us, so we can see Stoll and Royer get together. Royer comes down the racetrack, catches Gaines and the 18. Not sure who that 18 is, but you can see Sargent going around. He's going to get involved in it right here, get into the side of Gaines and Royer. Jay Schaaf taking evasive actions down on the bottom of the racetrack into 1 and 2. So caution flag in the air for the first time here on lap number 4. Get back to live time. It's Aiden Forrester, Kenny Hoffman, Tanner Pettit, Ryan Avila. So Tanner Pettit Racing top 4 spots right now. Then it's Mason Hannigan, Bryce Lucius, and Blake Carrick, Matthew Rogers, Landon Graham, and Miles Hansen. That is going to round out our top 10 here in the feature. So 4 down, 36 to go. Or 3 down, I'm not sure how I was going to say. So we run that extra lap, it always messes me up. But we're going to go green flag here in just a minute. Lights do look like they're out on the pace truck. And it looks like everybody's up there trying to work in that top line, trying to pack that top groove in. Trying to push the racetrack up because the racetrack had narrowed up a little bit through the earlier main events. Forrester now going to get down to the bottom. Hoffman's going to stay out there. Lights are on the pace truck still, so we're going to go around at least one more time. You see Putney and Gaines making their way out of the pits, back out onto the racetrack. Alright, pace track has pulled in. Force is going to bring us up to speed off of turn number 4, get us back to racing here in the A main. 4 laps down, or 3 laps down, 37 to go. Forrester, Hoffman, Pettit, Avila there in the 4th spot up on the outside. Lucius takes a look at it and tries to make it 3 wide. Ryan Avila gets a great run off the top of the racetrack. He is going to take that 3rd spot away from Pettit. It looks like the bottom, we got caution once again. And it looks like Putney and Royer once again diving down into the pits. I'm not sure who was involved in it. It looks like it might have been something with Szczynski. Let's keep an eye on the 23 here. He gets a middle mistake there off of 2. Slides up in the middle of the racetrack. Maybe a little contact there with Schaaf. And Szczynski's going to get back into the berm, head into the 3 and 4. Carries a little wheel stand through the middle of the corner. And he's just going to go around. That is going to bring out caution number 2. Royer is going to get into him. And it looks like Putney takes evasive action into the infield to try to get some more repairs done. Alright, so you see Putney and Royer. It looks like we may have already lost Stoll. Gaines, they may be down there getting some more repairs done as well. So I see Aiden Stoll. Richie Gaines, the 3rd, also down there. Rylan Gray, I don't think he is going to make his way back out onto the racetrack. Alright, Aiden Forrester looking for his first win of the season. He's leading the points in the 360, second in points in the 410s, but is yet to pick up a win. Can he find his way to victory lane here tonight at Husets? But he has got his teammates right on his tail. Kenny Hoffman, Tanner Pettit, and Ryan Avila right there with him. Bryce Lucius sitting back there in the 5th spot. He's got a bunch of heavy hitters behind him. He's got a lot of laps left to go to hang on to this lead. All right, let's watch the 20 of Aiden Forrester bring us back to racing here. We got 35 laps left to go when we come across the line. Gonna dive down to the bottom off of turn number 4. Green flag in the air once again. Forrester, Hoffman. Petty gets out to the outside of the racetrack. Ryan Avila down to the bottom. They're side by side for third. Behind them, it's Hannigan and Lucius for fifth and sixth. Aiden Forrester getting a little bit of a lead, almost half a second back to Hoffman right now. The battle's back here for third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. We see Avila, Pettit, Lucius, Hannigan. We got a 4-car battle back here for third. Pettit now to the outside. Gets a run off the top of 4. He's going to take that third spot back away. Avila now settles back to fourth. Hoffman trying to reel in Forrester. He's cut about a tenth of a second off, but it's still about 4/10 of a second between our two leaders. Pettit now has cleared Avila for that third spot. Trying to reel in first and second now. Bryce Lucius settles into fifth. Hannigan in sixth. Carrick now's worked his way back up into the 7th spot in the 21. He is trying to reel in, get his way into the battle up here for the front. But right now, it is the 20 of Aiden Forrester. He's led all but the first lap of this race. Hoffman settled right there in behind him. Down the back straightaway one more time. 20, and that's now 7/10 of a second back to Kenny Hoffman. And it looks like the top of the racetrack is a place to be. Pettit made a little mistake back there. He's now back to 6th. We did not see that happen as we were looking up front. Ryan Avila now to 3rd, and we've got caution in the air, and it looks like it may be something involving Straczynski once again, as it looks like he's already jumped to the pits. But we missed a little something there. Pettit fell back. Let's see if we can see a little bit what happened there. The Tanner Pettit, because he lost a couple of spots there in a hurry. Ryan Avila had already gotten around him, and here comes Lucius to the bottom, so Lucius is going to find a way around. Pettit makes a... Let's see what he does. He gets into the wall here into 3 and 4 is exactly what happened. That lets Lucius and Hannigan get by. We'll see if we can see what happened on the caution real quick. Before we go back to live racing, Straczynski now here in the 23 up on the outside of the racetrack. He's got Stoll right there in front of him, and kind of the same thing we just saw with Pettit, except a little bit worse. Straczynski catches the outside wall, rides the fence, tumbles over a couple of times. That was our 3rd caution flag here tonight. All right, so it's still Aiden Forrester. I think Aiden would really like to see this stay green. He's able to get a little separation on his restarts, but he was actually getting away from Kenny Hoffman right there. He does not want to see these caution flags. We've got 26 laps left to go, 14 down. So 40 laps here tonight at Husets. So it looks like we're going to start 2 by 2. Forrester on the bottom, Hoffman to the outside. Pace truck pulling in right there. It's up to Forrester. Forrester on the throttle off of 4. He's going to take the lead into 1. We're green flag one more time. Forrester out in front, Hoffman right there with him. Avila now down to the bottom. He's got Lucius. Avila and Hannigan together. Hannigan's going to do a wheel stand into 3. Ryan Avila's going to lose 2 spots. Lucius now to 3rd. Pettit on the outside. Side by side with the 49 for 4th. And it looks like Rogers with a good run. He's trying to get around Avila there for that 5th spot. Ryan trying a little bit different line. It looks like the top is a place to be right there. Hoffman goes to the bottom of 3 and 4. Looks underneath Forrester. Not able to get a run. We got caution in the air one more time. We see JP Schreider around. Richie Gaines Jr. right there with him as well. So caution for the 4th time here at Husets. It looks like the 10 of Young's already in the wall at this point. Here comes Schreider on the bottom. And we got another car up there against the wall, and it looks like Schreider was just trying to slow down at that point. I don't even know if the caution even come out at that point, but it looks like he's just trying to come to a stop to get into the pits. I think he maybe saw the caution, was going to try to come in and get some repairs done. And that's Lucius right there. All right, back to live action. Thanks for joining us. We got what? 23 laps left to go, 17 laps down. We're not quite to the halfway point. But it has been all 8 and 4, so let's take our lap leaders are not going to be accurate, but it has been all 8 and 4 this entire race. Alright, Forrester, Hoffman, Pettit, Rogers, Avila, that is your top 5. Alright. Green flag going to come out one more time here off of turn number 4. It's going to be up to Forrester to set the pace. Green flag in the air. Forrester, Hoffman, Pettit, your top 3. Hoffman with a little bit of a reprieve after making a mistake, losing a couple spots. Now back up to 3rd. And you can see just how good the top of the racetrack is. Here comes Avila now outside of Pettit. Pettit trying to make the bottom work. He's kind of stuck down there. Doesn't really have much of an option. Carrick now is going to come to his outside. So Pettit just trying to find a little bit different groove on the racetrack. We're 3 wide right here with Carrick, Hannigan, and Rogers. Now up front, though, it is still Aiden Forrester, Kenny Hoffman, Ryan Avila, and Tanner Pettit. That is your top 4. Then it's Blake Carrick. So we are TPR top 5 right now. All Tanner Pettit racing. Caution in the air once again. And it looks like it might have involved Mason Hannigan. As we were looking up at the front, we missed the action there for about 5th on back. So you can see Hannigan up on the outside of the racetrack. Carrick right there in front of him, and Mason just catches the outside wall. And as he's trying to gather it back up, here comes the 10 of Simons. So Mason with a little bit of mistake. Simon's gonna kind of help finish him off right there. So Mason Hannigan with another bad luck evening here is gonna find himself right now in the infield trying to get some repairs done. Let's see if he makes it back out on the racetrack. All right, we did get past the halfway point. 19 laps left to go right now. 21 down, or actually 22 down, 18 to go, as my timing and scoring keeps changes. The one thing we haven't talked about tonight, we haven't even brought up all of our sponsors tonight, have we? That's pretty hard. Design Metal Art. If you want some really cool looking metal art, check out Design Metal Art on their Instagram. EPI Elite Performance Industries, sim racing setups, coaching, all kinds of stuff to help you get better on the sim. EPI Elite Performance Industries. Collateral, you're going to see Collateral Damage Sports Network. That is my buddy Shane Cochran. Does a lot of the different overlays, some of the different graphics and stuff you're going to see here we use on the broadcast. And then our last sponsor I haven't mentioned tonight, Corbin Matthews, country music singer, has been with us since the beginning. Had some new song coming out, and it had a new song come out yesterday. Got another new song coming out next week. All right, we're gonna go green this time by Aiden Forrester, Kenny Hoffman one more time. Green flag in the air once again here after our 5th caution. Forrester got Hoffman right there behind. Avila with a good run on the bottom of the racetrack. Ryan trying to get that right against the berm work. He had a good run through 1 and 2. Can he find something through 3 and 4? He is rolling the bottom. He is going to get up alongside of Kenny Hoffman. It's side by side for 2nd. Tanner Pettit now to the top of the racetrack. Ryan Avila trying to find something on the bottom. Hoffman on the outside. But it looks like that bottom just is kind of gone away. There's not near as much bite down there as there was early. Caution in the air once again. And it looks like it might be Gavin Chatham. 6th caution flag here at Husets. And I think I jinxed us earlier when I said we were gone such a long way without caution. So caution in there one more time. Let's see if we can see what happened. It looks like it might have started with Richie Gaines. At this point, Gavin's already crashed. So let's take a look here at the 11. Gavin's already got upside down up there. Let's see if we can go back one more time and see what happened to Gavin. All right, we see Gavin up here on the top of the racetrack. He's outside of Blake Carrick. And he's just going to wheel hop the right rear. Carrick is going into 1. It's going to send him for a ride up into the fence. So Gavin Chatham in the 99 brings out caution. I think that's caution number 6 at this point. All right, timing and scoring shows me we have 16 laps left to go. We'll see what happens when they come across the line here. Forster and Hoffman one more time. Lights are out once again on the pace truck. All right, Matthew Rogers has made his way up into the fifth spot. He's got character was outside, but right now still up front. Forster and Hoffman, green flag gonna fly one more time. Green flag in the air here after a 6 caution flag. Ryan Avila with a fantastic jump. He gets along the inside of Hoffman and Forster there for the top spot. Still trying to make that bottom of the racetrack work. You can't pass him if you follow him, and that's exactly what Ryan's trying to do, trying to find something different. Hoffman back to second. Now Pettit on the outside's got Blake Carrick right there with him. Matt Rogers now in 6th, 13 laps left to go. 27 down. Forster, let's see if we can get a long green flag run this time. I'm sure Forster would be very happy to see this stay green to the end, because the longer the run goes, he seems like he gets better and better. But watch Hoffman trying to reel in. Pettit is actually making up some ground now, back to 3rd. Like a little mistake back there from Rogers. He gets into the fence. That's going to allow Parker Leaf to get up underneath him. Parker's up 15 spots. He came out of the B main. Started back in 21st. He's already out all the way up to 6th. Parker Leaf's got a fast hot rod out there, and he is making his way to the front right there with Aiden Stoll and Rogers. Keep an eye on the one of Parker Leaf. He is still coming forward. We've got 10 more laps left to go. Hoffman starting to reel in Forster a little bit. It's only 0.2 of a second. He's going to have to pull a slider somewhere to make the pass if he can reel him in. That bottom has not shown enough pace here. Hoffman's going to get to the wall. He's going to make a mistake. That's going to let Pettit get by on the inside off of 4 to take 2nd away. Hoffman gets it back up to speed, but in the meantime, he is going to lose 2 spots, because here comes Ryan Avila now down to the bottom. Forster, Pettit, Avila, and Hoffman. Forster drops down to the bottom off of 4 that time. Still up on the top of the racetrack, but now he's got Tanner Pettit 0.7 of a second back. 7 laps left to go. Can we stay green all the way out? Hoffman's falling back another spot. Carrick now gets around him for 4th. This is the battle for 4th and 5th. Forster out in front. Pettit has caught him. Can he find a way around? He looks to the bottom off of 3 and 4. Forster goes to the bottom, I think, to block off the slider. That gives Pettit the outside line, so we're switching lines all over the place here. Pettit now to the bottom. Can he clear Forster off of 4? No, he's got to stay down in the middle of the racetrack. Forster now back to the top. Pettit right there behind him in his tire tracks. 4 laps left to go, 3.5 to go as we enter turn 3 right here. They both go to the bottom of the racetrack. It's a chess game up front. Forster, Pettit, Ryan Avila there in 3rd. We're going to keep an eye on this battle up front, because the 24, Tanner Pettit, has reeled in Aiden Forster. Forster looking for his first win of the season. He's got 2 laps. Can he hang on? This is going to come down to the wire. Can Tanner Pettit find a way around? Forster back down to the bottom. Pettit's going to make a mistake. Catch the wall in turn number 3 as we come to the white flag. That is going to give Forster about 0.6 of a second gap. I think that's going to do it for him. That might put the nail in the coffin for Pettit right there, as Forster is going to go through 3 and 4 on the bottom of the racetrack off of turn number 4. It is going to be the 28 and Forster bringing home the win. Tanner Pettit 2nd. Ryan Avila 3rd. Blake Carrick, Kenny Hoffman, your top 5. Top 5 all Tanner Pettit Racing. Then it's Matthew Rogers in 6th. Parker Leak with a fantastic run from the B main, started 21st all the way up to 7th. Miles Jansen, Dustin Big Money Sargent, and Jack Young. That rounds out our top 10 here in the feature. Some fantastic racing. We had quite a few cautions, but once we got that last caution gone, stayed green for a while. I knew Forster just wanted to keep that green flag out. We'll get a chance here to talk to him. We'll see who jumps into the waiting room. We're going to wait here for a second. I see Ryan's jumped in. We'll see if Aiden jumps in as well. As we're waiting for our leader to join us in the booth. All right, let's see if we can... All right, Let's get our winner into the booth with us. All right, Aiden, are you there, buddy?
Yes, sir.
Well, damn it, you did it, bud. Hadn't had a win all season in the 360s or the 410. You dominate here at Husets tonight. Bring home the win. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Finally, we got ourselves a win with DOB. We've been so good, I feel, and it just, like I said in previous interviews, it just not all the puzzle pieces have gone our way, and yeah, tonight just was basically perfect. We were able to draw a good pill in the redraw there, and we were able to get to the lead there and start in the pole, and we had a really good car. It was tough knowing where to be with the no mirrors. Had no clue where to be there because, you know, as the leader, you're kind of a sitting duck. So I was kind of expecting runs to be made there. Tanner made a late race run there, and I was able to defend him off there. Congrats to the TPR on, I think, the top 5. So I
Top
think we're
5.
keeping the.
Yeah, top 5 for TPR tonight. You guys just dominated all night long here. Yeah, it was you, then Tanner, Ryan, Blake, and Kenny all top 5. Great run there. And I mean, Tanner came up and gave you some pressure there at the end. I was sitting up in the booth. I know you just looked better on the longer runs, and I was just sitting there commenting. You really wanted to keep it green out there because I think those cautions just brought him back up on your on the back bumper there.
Yeah, definitely did want a longer green flag run, but thankfully we were able to hang on there. Like I said, I was expecting more lines to form there and maybe to get past at one point in the middle of the race there, just because of like I said earlier, as the leader, you're sitting duck, especially here at Husets with how much it changes. But we were able to adapt quick there and get ourselves a win finally.
Well, congratulations, man. It's been, I know you've been really wanting this all season long. You finally get it. That's probably going to move you up into the top of the point standings here in the 410s as well as the 360. So good job. Congratulations once again. But, hey, man, anybody else you want to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, first of all, most importantly, can't thank Tanner enough for all the work he does for all of us at TPR. He puts a lot of time in to get us to where we're at. So can't thank him enough. Can't thank Jimmy P. Mac Tools, 1425 Photography, Aces Up Sim Sports, and CD Cinematography, Trackside Collective, Blake Carrick Racing, Rap Market, just everybody that supports us.
All right, man. Well, congrats again. I'm sure we're going to see you next week. We got 360s on Tuesday night. We're back for the 410s next week. So have yourself a good weekend, and we'll see you then.
Thank you guys too.
All right, second place. Let's see here. Let's get Tanner up here with us. Tanner, are you there, buddy?
Yes, sir.
Well, you put on a show, man. You got up there. You got a little mistake, got into the wall, fell back a couple of spots, but you're able to get yourself back up into second. And I thought you had something there for Aiden at the end.
Yeah, definitely. I stuffed in the wall a couple times there and hurt the right front. And after that, I just kind of was dizzy for a couple laps, you could say, and regrouped myself, figured out how to drive the car with the broken right front, and was kind of able to just bury it a little bit harder than the other guys were there towards the end. But super proud of the team going 1 through 5 there, locking out top 5. Super impressed yourself out of everybody.
So you did have a little right front damage there from that contact with the wall earlier on.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
but didn't seem to slow me down at all. So
no, you got some really good pace there, Aiden. You know, I know you guys aren't running mirrors, but it almost seemed like Aiden knew where you were going to be. Dropped down to the bottom in 3 and 4 just about every time you tried to drop down to take that slide on him there. But that was just a great race to watch. You know that 6 caution flags. But we get a little bit. You know, get like 10 laps there at the end. Get you guys a chance to race at it, and you guys put on one hell of a show.
yeah, I got the best opportunity I could there with 10 laps at the end, and I kind of found the bottom in 3 and 4 and found that it was working real nice. But with just how the track shape works, he could definitely see me there, center of the corner, and he knew once he got the run off a couple times that he should probably move down there, and smart move on his part. And again, congrats to Aiden on the win, and proud of the team for locking out a top 5.
All right, so you got to, you know, I know you're not going to give away all the secrets and everything, but, you know, what's the magic going on over there at TPR right now? I mean, you guys been locking out podiums for the last few weeks. Now we lock out top 5 tonight. You know, you give us just a little hint.
Really, it's just chemistry. You know, we know where to run, when to run it, and we work well together as we race. We run the exact setups that are sold on my website, so anybody can feel free to run exactly what we're on. And it seems to be just the team's got good chemistry, and we can keep momentum going week in, week out.
Well, congratulations, man. Great run again tonight. I know we're gonna a few more weeks left to go, so I know we're gonna talk to you once again. But anybody else you want to give a thanks to before you get out of here?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Jimmy P. Mac Tools, 1425 Photography, CD Cinematography, Trackside Collective, Rap Market, anybody who supports my website. I'd like to thank all my team members: Aiden, Blake, Kenny, Ashton, Clayton, Ethan, Ross, Ryan. Got a bunch of those guys that stick by me, and can't appreciate them enough. I'd also like to thank Chris for putting on this league, and you guys for putting on the broadcast. It was a lot of fun tonight.
I appreciate it. Congratulations and good luck the rest of the weekend. We'll see you next week.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, let's get our third place finisher up in here. Ryan Avila, are you there with us, buddy?
How's it going?
Good, man. It's been seems like every race now we've been talking to you up here. You won. You picked up the win Tuesday night. Fell a little bit short there tonight. It looked like kind of you get down. The top was a place to be early, and then the bottom kind of came in there just a little bit. But it seemed like just a few times you kind of got forced into the groove you didn't want to be in.
Yeah, I think even back to my Pro Series one here 2 years ago, it seems to just go up, and like the bottom is way slicker. So yeah, I kind of just found myself on the bottom, middle of the race right there, and a couple laps later, those guys would be around me on the top. But yeah, I felt like I was good everywhere. I just came up a little short tonight.
Yeah, Husets a little bit of a challenge. We saw Tuesday night at Kern in the 360 was just black all the way across, but it looked like there was a little bit of cushion up here on the top here at Husets. You guys could run, especially off at 2, but 4 just looked like it's kind of switched down to the bottom with about the last 4 or 5 laps.
Yeah, it's almost 3 and 4 is pretty kind of even to Kern. How it goes that little lane up. Seems like Tanner and Aiden really found the bottom there really late, and I think Tanner made up a lot of ground. Running the top off of 2 and shooting it down to the bottom. I found myself just running right through the middle in 1 and 2 and back up to the top in 3 and 4. But yeah, Aiden was really good tonight. Kenny, Blake, Tanner. Can't ask for much more when you lock out another top 5, and I think that's maybe 4 races in a row now, or 1, 2, 3. So yeah, pretty good from the team, and yeah, I hope to do it again next week.
Well, we asked Tanner the same question. I'm going to see if I can get you to give up any secrets. So top 5, you guys have been locking out podiums. I know you're not going to give out all the secrets, but you got any secret you're going to let slip out?
I don't really think we got much. We don't practice for these races. We kind of just show up, and I think it's just a skill that we all have earned and gained over our time on the sim. There's a bunch of good drivers. It kind of just comes down to luck and where you pull in the dash draw. We all got lucky and started on the inside, and kind of just set ourselves up from there. And it all goes back to qualifying. You set yourself up real good in the beginning of the night. It's probably gonna lay into your hands at the end. I was a little unlucky and pulled the 5 in the dash, and Tanner was nice enough to let me have 4th, so I started on the outside and found myself running around him. But yeah, there's not much secrets to give out. Kind of just laps and laps and laps, and that's where your speed comes from.
No, I know you guys all got thousands and thousands of laps on here, and it just comes from the practice and experience. But hey, man, congratulations on another great run. Before you get out of here for a night, I know it's getting late, but anybody else you want to give a thanks to?
Yeah, always you for putting the broadcast on. We got the 410 series now, and within the 360 series, always good to have a broadcast. And Chris for putting the race on, and this league's been going for 20 some seasons now, so it's great to have us in it. And Tanner Pettit, obviously amazing setups and a good coach at the end of the day. Jimmy P. Mac Tools, 1425 Photography, Aces Up, Sim Sports, CD Photography, Trackside Collective, Blake Carrick Racing, Ethan Johnson over at Free Speed, and Simrat Market.
All right, buddy. Well, congrats again, and I'm sure we're going to talk next week, so have yourself a good weekend.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You bet. All right, that was Ryan Avila. They're coming home in 3rd. So that's going to round out our night here for the 410 sprints. Let's take a look at our full results here. Am I on the? I am on the feature this time. What do you know? Let's just back up here and get to the right page. All right, coming home with a win, Aiden Forrester, and as we heard from all 3 there in the interview, Tanner Pettit Racer bringing home the top 5. It was Forrester, Pettit, Avila. I said it right all night long, and now I'm messing it up. Avila there in 3rd. Blake Carrick, Kenny Hoffman, Matthew Rogers in 6th. Parker Leak 7th. Miles Jansen 8th. Dustin Sargent in the 9th spot. Jack Young is going to come home in 10th. Trying to find a button to click on here. Here we go. All right. So Parker Leak, as we talked earlier, biggest mover of the race. Actually, Dustin was the hard charge up 15 spots. But go back to our finisher. Leak in 7th. Jansen, Sargent, Young. Spencer Putney in the 12th, 11th spot. JP Schreider in 12th. Tony Dominguez, Jay Schaaf, Aiden Stoll, Casey Simons, Landon Graham, Bryce Lucius, Gavin Chatham, Richie Gaines the 3rd in the 20th spot. We get back to our last 4 cars here, and it's Mason Hannigan, A little bit of bad luck all week long here for the 360s and the 410 for Mason. Again, finds himself in 21st. Alistair Zninsky in the 22nd spot. Trevor Royer and Rylan Gray. Hard charge of the night was Dustin Sargent, up 15 spots. So if you go back and look at this, we had 3 B main cars in the top 10. Parker, Dustin, and Jack Young. So fantastic run for those guys. Fastest lap of the night was Aiden Forrester. Aiden still started on the pole. All right, so we're going to wrap this up here for tonight. We don't forget though, we're back here tomorrow night for the what are we doing tomorrow night? Tomorrow night is the Half Decent Race League Xfinity Series tomorrow night, and then on Saturday night we have the JWR E-Racing Money Race at Daytona. We'll see some big super speedway drivers there Saturday night. That's a fun show. If you're not doing anything on Saturday night about 10 o'clock Eastern, you're bored sitting around, check us out. Even if you're not bored, check it out. It's going to be a lot of fun. But over on the other side of the channel right now, we still have Nitro Zone Racing League Truck Series going on with my buddy Liam Irving. Jump over there and check that out. And again, if this was your first time here with us tonight, make sure you give us a subscribe, give us a like. I want to say thanks all of you for being here. And from all of us at DRSN, thanks for choosing to spend your evening with us. My name's Chris Murphy, saying keep it smooth, keep it smart, and if you can't do that, at least keep it entertaining for the folks at home. We'll see you next time. And you think I'm reading that because I am, and I just messed that lineup. But thanks again for being here. We'll be back again tomorrow night with the Half Decent Racing League. See you then.